We plan on help lo pick as they like to say, because the wellheads are up there in Hela. But then your gas is of no commercial value without my plant. Like on average, is 13 million Kina, 6 million Kina, 7 million Kina per kilometer of road. Now, am I missing something right there? When you open the road up, guess what? Uncle from Enga and uncle from Eastern Islands and Hela is going to come down. But is it true the other way around? Are you going to see your Keramas and Darus and Central Province people and others moving that way?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Dive into a thrilling Coffee with Lewa episode with Honorable Keith Iduhu, MP for Hiri-Koiari. Tackling PNG's big issues. Is Connect PNG a scam? Why the healthcare crisis? What's up with land formalization? Keith speaks boldly. Watch the full episode via the link in the description. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. Let's go.
You have very serious concerns about the imbalance between funding for Connect PNG and the deteriorating health sector. Can you walk us through why this matters so much right now?
Yeah, well, Connect PNG is a great program. Let me just be clear from the outset. I think it's a noble idea. But I think also that it's not very well thought out. I don't believe this program is supposed to be implemented on the back of two bits of legislation that, in a nutshell, set up a trustee regime where a group of bureaucrats, as the Works Secretary, the Secretary for Finance, Secretary for Planning, Secretary for Treasury, I think, and one other, all form a body of a trust. They are responsible for a trust fund, which is the PNG Road Trust Fund, they call it. 20 years it is supposed to run for, and 20 billion Kina is planned to be expended in this program. And that's the legislative framework. Whether that framework is being implemented or followed is another thing. And that's where the disagreements arise. Now, as a matter of policy, however, you have Connect PNG intended to create circulation. That's what they say in economics. Physical circulation of the general population. With the circulation of population, growth will come. With the ability of access to markets, growth will come. The economy will turn around. But is that really a priority at this time? It is, yes, it's probably a priority, but is it one of the highest priorities? What of our health sector, the basic health services in the country? What's the story with that? What about the education sector? What about educating our people with the right content of education? I think our curriculum leaves a lot for wanting. It baffles me that our people behave in a certain way. The behavior of people at the markets and just outside generally is a reflection of the level of education, a reflection of the content that our children are being exposed to or not being exposed to. So that baffles me. Why are we spending so much money into this one single program? It's as if that is the answer to all our problems. But what about the health sector? What about Central Province? Let's not talk about everybody else, but what about the Central Province Hospital? We launched a billboard, and then what's happened? That's not a provincial program. That's a national program. Budget since 2022, 2023, 2024 shows nothing about Central Province Hospital. Is the National Health Department and the Ministry for Health are they going to put up for some real action to bring this hospital, a ribbon for which was cut at the eve of the 2022 elections at Bautama? The Port Moresby General Hospital, growing up, I was born in Port Moresby, and I always thought Port Moresby is my city. We got capital Morabes Ley. You go to East New Britain, where's the capital of that place? Rabaul, it used to be. Kokopo now.
Yes.
You go to West New Britain, what's there? Kimbe and Hoskins. So you go to East Sepik Province, where do you go? Wewak. You come to Central Province, you come to Port Moresby. That's my city. That's our city. I mean, somebody decided to draw a line around it and bring a bit of legislation to the floor, and they've told us we're a different province. That's not your hospital, you've been told. But you go to 3 Mile, who's sleeping outside? Who sleeps outside the gate? My aunties and uncles literally are there. I have a truckloads of gyres there. Hiri-Koiari people sleeping outside. Kairukus, Mekeos, they sleep outside along that fence and outside. 99, I don't know if I tell you, some of these top-head bureaucrats wouldn't even relate to what I'm about to say. In 1993, when my old man was doing some studies, we came back. My grandmother was in the hospital, so we're all sleeping outside. The new hospital gate, the new gate, that drain, yes. That's where we put all the cells, and we were sleeping there. That was home for about a month. I have an auntie in the hospital right now, and they're all sleeping under the Kokari tree outside. I'm sitting there in the afternoons with them. That's Central Province for you right there. Thank you very much. Come on.
Come on. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Come
we might
on.
not be providing you we plan no help no pick as they like to say, because the wellheads are up there in Hela. But then your gas is of no commercial value without my plant, without our
Right.
people's plant. Your power in the city is coming from Suriname. It's been coming since 1960. Those people lost their gardening land. It's a whole valley of sadness because that whole basin was blocked off, dammed, and all their livelihood changed since 1960. These people have been squatting on their own land. They're squatters. And governments since 1960 have not even thought of, hang on, okay, we've just taken their space and their God-given, but they give them a little bit of a change here, a change there. Every time somebody gets frustrated, they go and stop the power, stop the water, and they give them a 5 million here, 10 million there. What's that? Come on. I think we can do better than that. And so that's health. We need that hospital. We do need that hospital. I'm really hopeful that the current minister whom I've engaged with takes on board our views. I've sent him a letter. I've requested that basically I've said our people of Hiri-Koiari, and I'm sure Central Province are going to support any great initiative to continue this agenda. This running agenda for almost 10 years now. Let's get it up and running. I was really challenged when I went to Enga, Wabeck, to recently launch that opening of the Wabeck Hospital. Amazing infrastructure.
Massive.
600 million. Massive. It's huge. We're not asking for, it's not a rocket launching pad that, or ICT center we're crying for. It's health. The people of Central Province, we want to contribute to this country as well. We're already giving you a city, a home for administration of the government in our land. And we drive past that Parliament House every now and again, and the city that is bustling, and you have people from all over the country flocking in for opportunities, and in the process taking ours away, taking away the opportunities of our people here. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I think there can be an organized way we can all have access to a prosperous life, from our respective corners where God has given us our space.
Exactly. Said. You captured that really well in just the first two questions.
Yeah.
With rural health services collapsing and essential medical supplies running out, as we've just touched on, how does the government justify allocating billions to roads, as we've said, while hospitals struggle to function?
Absolutely. Well, like I said, and you'll hear this again if someone raises Connect PNG again on the floor tomorrow, or from this current sitting starting tomorrow. They'll say, Mipla, stablo bush kanaka 50 player Christmas finish na. We have not received any services. People are not receiving. But hey, wait. No one's saying you shouldn't get that road. It's important you get that road. But it's the road. Example, there are some roads in this country quantified at 150 plus million Kina. And I assure you, you'll hear crazy numbers like, it's like on average, it's 13 million Kina, 6 million Kina, 7 million Kina per kilometer of road. Now, am I missing something right there? The Works Department will give you a whole spreadsheet of payments and contracts, and you'll see contract value and the distance that these contracts are to cover. And you'll see that some of these roads are built at 13 million Kina per kilometer. I won't mention which, but there is a few. There's some roads that are like 8 million Kina per kilometer. Hey, wait, I think I also missed something. There was one launch recently for about 172 million. There's also one stretch of road for about 3 kilometers at 150 million Kina. Now, is that not extravagant? I'm not sure what it is. We, Papua New Guineans, are you telling us Mibla long, Mibla no school to Mibla stupid? Mibla no reading 1, 2, 3 or ABC. Yeah, it's like an insult to the intelligence of the collective intelligence of the entire 10 million population of Papua New Guinea. This has to stop. Something, it's just not right.
Yeah.
It's evil.
Yes,
it is evil.
It's not even about knowing, you're an expert in a field. I'm just common sense, that's all. Like you look in facts and figures and but you just survey or some, it's can't be right.
No, it's just, I can't comprehend. My mind is racing to really appreciate and understand. Am I missing something? It must be some kind of a different kind of machine that they're using, or cutting tunnels, and maybe, I don't know, but 13 million Kina for 1 kilometer of road stretch that accumulates to about 150 to 300 million Kina. That's Connect PNG for you right there. That's what's not right about it. It's a great program. Its intentions are good. Its implementation is what concerns a lot of Papua New Guineans, I'm sure. I'm one of those.
And I'm one of those too. And if you are someone who is concerned, put it in the comments section that you are concerned about this as well, right? Because that doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. I mean, we're asking, a bag of rice, 10-kilo rice bag is now over 100 Kina.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, why? And you wonder, why is that the case? Okay, here's the case. Because of the reckless spending in this one single program, for example, right? All the loans that we're getting loans to spend into dirt. That's going to take a long while to get the returns, if any. And so because of this expenditure and continuous reckless or lack of responsibility on our fiscal discipline, because the now go be plus threat. So the taxpayer, that the consumer carries that black hole. To recompense that black hole is passed on to the general population through its consumer behavior. So we're the ones paying for the roads from our rice bag and our petrol and all our essentials. That's how it's happening. That's why our foreign currency, we have a serious forex issue. Our inflation is completely out of this. It's going to end up, in the next 2 or 3 years, that same 10-kilo rice bag is going to cost maybe 150 to 200 Kina now.
My goodness, who can afford that?
Meanwhile, our minimum wage is still at 3 Kina 50. I hear the good Minister for Labor there's an intervention to review and bring it back. Whilst that's being reviewed and, all the talk is carrying on and nothing's coming through, even after they amend it, it'll be something like 7 Kina. With 7 Kina per hour, if you think that's still going to be enough, I don't know. Because even the minimum wage that's going to be improved is racing against this hyperinflation, the reckless spending of the government. This reckless spending is tantamount, is now accumulating to this hyperinflation, where our demand on import is just, over the moon. And we're not exporting anything. Those figures in cocoa that people are talking about in Wewak and Bougainville, great, it's fantastic. But are we producing? Do we have any more new farmers? As the land being opened up, those plantations that have been worked on are actually state leases or freehold titles, most of them. Now, the story in the CPIC is a different story, but the windfall is only happening because of commodity price increment. That price is going to drop at any time. When the world cocoa behavior changes, when the suppliers actually stabilize, the price stabilize, it'll come down to about 300-400 Kina per bag. Right now, it's a windfall, but you don't jump upon the bandwagon, Now.
But what's happening in CPIC was a plan, right? This is like 8 years in the making.
They had a plan. It was a big plan. And that's how the discussion last week came through. And there was discussion of who should go past now, something come up. I think the whole collective leadership of East and West Civic should be commended and praised for it. They've done well. Good on them.
Absolutely.
But when is Papua going to put their head together? Coco no sa grow lo Tasol or New Guinea Island Tasol. Coco can grow lo here too. Coffee can grow lo here too. When are we going to put our heads together? When are our own leaders? Recently there was a Papuan conference.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, at the Hilton, and it's very sad because the attendance of leaders from Papua is wanting. Hey, this country is called Papua New Guinea. Participate in it and get into it. Papua got passed through, even in the name, they decided to put Papua first. So planning, we have to plan it. We have to be decisive. We have to have vision. We need to be deliberate in our planning and our actions. Things are just not going to happen. You build a road through that place, it's not just going to, prosperity or growth is just not, economic growth is not just going to happen because there's a road. Hey, along with it, there's going to be problems. When you open the road up, guess what? Uncle from Enga and uncle from Eastern Islands and Hela is going to come down. But is it true the other way around? Are you going to see your Keramas and Darus and Central Province people and Oros moving that way?
Yeah.
Let's be
Wow.
realistic and let's be truthful. Let's be mindful of our people and all our citizens. Tumuna story to you must respect him. We were designed and engineered by God in this way, not by neglect, not by default, but with purpose.
Amen.
That's why I am Papuan. I am here in my space. I respect your space. You respect my space.
Right.
I am
And then we got to
from
work
Hiri-Koiari.
together.
And we got to work together. But allow me to bring value to the table just as you bring value to the table. And empower me and I'll empower you. It's just the nature of where things are. And this way we can really see exponential growth in the country. A real economic revolution will then arise. Until then, if we don't understand people management, understanding our people, respecting our spaces,
All right. So I just want to circle back to health, and then we can come back to a bit more dialogue on this. And we have more lined up, of course. There seems to be a consistent shortfall in the budget as it pertains to funding for healthcare. An example of that was the 150 million Kina shortfall. What is the current situation and how is this impacting our communities?
Yeah, no, very interesting question. Lewa. This is like I said, health has to be a national priority. It should always be. There should be some benchmark. You can't not appropriate for health. Health is what it is. Health. You need to provide for health in the infrastructure. And I spoke about our Central Province Hospital is being an example. But then again, you got primary health care, and the provincial health authorities are responsible for them. We've created provincial health authorities all across the country, and that responsibility is one that sits with them. And these health authorities link with the National Department of Health and drive the health agenda. That's to one corner, and it really relates to the clinical services plans for each of these PHAs. And if it depends really again on how well these organizations are run by the respective boards, and so that health authority, its responsibility is to manage to plan, introduce what they call the clinical services plan, and then implement that clinical services plan. Now, in each of these plans, I'm hopeful for our sake in the Central Province that the Central Province Hospital is featured number one. There cannot be any other responsibility otherwise. Now that's an independent body answerable only to the National Department of Health and the minister. So that's at that level, they need to work that out and be responsible.
There's no update as to the shortfall of 150 million Kina. I just want to clarify that for our viewers.
I can't say at this point, but you can see, 150 million Kina. To be honest, the vaccination is really key. If there's a cutback in vaccination, which I think there was, then you should be worried. Now this polio outbreak I heard, and I thought we did away with polio some 30 years ago.
That's what I thought.
Program, but that's a serious concern, and these deadly diseases really take our people. Generally, we need to be responsible leaders to our people and make sure that health services are readily available. There was a dream or a mention of policy mention of having a health infrastructure every 1 kilometer from each community. So what happens there? In the district, let's deal with what we know. What we do know is that, we get given a 10 million Kina commitment by the national government as a grant through DSIP, and also a 5 million Kina on top of that for infrastructure development. And then Kina for Kina, but that's usually at the discretion of the Minister of Planning and the Prime Minister and the powers that be. So as a member of a district, a member of parliament of a district, my focus and attention is the primary health care. That's our space. And we try our best to establish health posts, level 1 and level 2, in each community. So we focus our attention really on health and infrastructure, that is just the clinic, facility, and the house. Then we hand them over to the PHAs for them to provide the health worker, community health worker, or and the medicine that come with it, which is another aspect of it. So very important. The members hand over to the PHAs and here, please take care of it and provide the services to our people. Yeah, so there's a lot wanting in this area, but I think the good Minister for Health will provide us a statement soon, and I'm sure he'll give us a rosy story about how great the country's running and how healthy we are. We want to have a healthy...
I don't know about that statement with 7,000 babies being born on the floor of Port Moresby General Hospital in 2024 alone. I mean, I was born in Port Moresby General Hospital, so I would never want any mother or any child, if there was a choice, of course, but you went to PomGen because you wanted to have your baby in an environment that a hospital provides.
Yeah.
But you karim lo floken.
Yeah,
What
that's
can you
very
say
sad.
about that? But you talk one can.
Yes, it's just, that's what I'm saying. But we'd rather connect roads.
It brings me to my next question. The government has stated that Connect PNG will lead to billions in economic gains through agriculture, land reform, manufacturing, fisheries, and tourism. But do we not also need water, power, international market access, training, and technology to support these sectors? Without these fundamentals, can roads alone truly transform the economy? Or is Connect PNG, I'm just going to say it, is Connect PNG a scam?
It's a complete scam. It's just a scam. It's
Okay, let me ask that question again for the viewers of Coffee with Lewa. If you think that this is a scam, you go and write it in the comments. Is Connect PNG a scam, Honorable Keith Iduhu? Is it a scam?
Well, like I said initially, it's a great program. It's intended. I'm sure its motives are well intended. Or is it as fast? Are they just trying to make us think that it's going to bring prosperity? Because it's not going to bring prosperity. I mean, come on. Like I said, it's a collective insult of a collective intelligence of the entire nation to tell us that Connect PNG is going to bring you prosperity and lead to billions in economic gains through agriculture. Wait, a road that's going to pass through and is just going to bring agriculture? Come on. Okay, fair enough, but our people need a bit more than that. What, the road's going to cut right through my land? That's going to bring land reform? Wait, I think we're missing something here. Manufacturing? Nobody wants to go up to anywhere between A and B to set up a manufacturing plant because there's no way to set up a manufacturing plant because they don't have access to land. There's no ports facility properly running. Planning. Again, we need to plan this out properly and be measured, connecting the country in a measured way, not just blind throwing billions of Kina into the dirt, into a black hole. There's no, I mean, you can tell me all this about jobs we created, but hang on, didn't you promise us 1 million jobs first? You didn't even tell us how you're going to create those 1 million jobs either. And you didn't even tell us how much in those 1 million jobs, in what sectors you're going to provide us those jobs in. But wait, you keep telling us you provided 10,000 jobs and created so many millionaires through the Connect PNG program. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I think there's 10,000 jobs of brothers wearing safety reflector vests and holding a lollipop sign to say, go and come, go and come. That's not a real job. Give our people real jobs. Let's formalize our land first. So give them access to their credit. Everybody in this country should have access to credit. And then we can talk about growth. And then you can go ahead and build a nice road. I won't have a problem with that.
If you're enjoying this conversation, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us to continue to bring thoughtful conversations that matter for Papua New Guinea.
I have a huge problem with Connect PNG. If Central Province Hospital is not even on the cards, if land reform is not even on the cards, if agriculture is limited to subsistence farming, it should be more than that. We need cocoa, copra. We want to mass produce vegetables for our own consumption. And then if there's any surplus, we can export. We want to talk about real manufacturing tools, also tools in this country. And until land is made available, we can't even open up that space. I want us to talk about bringing fish processing plants onshore and bring it here. We want to make sure our gold stays in country. And gold is mined out of here. Where is it going? How come we don't even have it? I don't know how much central bank is holding on to. Tourism. We can't even have tourism if this law and order is all out of control. There's only, last week I asked the good officers from RPNGC how many policemen we have. Not even worth mentioning. It's not enough. It's just this. We are really, really below par. This government leaves a lot for wanting.
Yes.
There's a lot for wanting. I mean,
and we're 50 now. We're 50. Like you looking, everybody will talk, okay, 50, but we are 1,000 tribes. Now you looking age blue, talk, okay, no. 50 is still young because, looking 1,000 tribes, 800 different languages. But we do have so many tribes and so many languages. Question you ask him, you are 50 years old. A grown man walking around here at 50, if they're not together, what are you going to ask them? That's the same thing about our country, right? This is not me trying to, bring shame to our government or thrash anybody. This is a concerned citizen like everybody else watching this show, trying to understand what's actually happening. Why can't we see any of these things? We haven't even seen a map of Connect PNG. Like, what road is going where? I said this in the previous interview we held with Governor. I said, I'm from Abao, right? In Lalawa village, to be exact. I mean, since I was 12 years old, our trips can go from, 5 hours on a good day to 3 days. I had to, my late mom passed away. I had to expend quite a bit of money to fly her in a helicopter because I wanted to give her a decent burial. And I didn't want to have her, jumping up, all these things are concerns for citizens. What about people who don't have the support to provide that, what I did for my mom, So, and my people, about, Mipla got coconuts, Mipla got copra. We have land in abundance, like land just going and going and going. Why can't we have the road connect again from Abao to Port Moresby? Why hasn't that road been fixed?
Yeah, that's not even on the Connect PNG. Oh, is it? I have no idea. But the thing is this: that's that's national road. It should pass right through. And there's already one. We've got the Magi Highway rehabilitation program running at the moment. It's kind of
Yes, I heard.
from one section all the way to, and then there's also Alotau and Central Province link through about already. But the quality of the road really it's a lot wanting.
Hits personally because I have a cousin who shared with me, first cousin, mind you, who walks every time she needs to have a baby to get to Kupiano station because the roads are bad. So, PMV can only take you so far. Then you canoe, then you dinghy, and then you have to walk. Bai walk about logo karim pikinini. But this is a normal thing in our country. Planty Mary Woklo make him saying something today is they're walking in labor to have a baby. Where is our empathy here? Humanity. You mean look, all of us are the same. So where is our humanity? Explain this to me. Why are my sisters and my aunties and my cousins having to walk to deliver a baby? Can someone explain this to me?
That's just not acceptable. So I say Connect PNG program is a good program. It's well intended. But the scales at which and the manner in which it's been implemented leaves a lot for wanting. And one will start, can ask why and how. So much money is being poured into one single program at the expense of all these other areas. If there was some real decisive plan, in each of these sectors, including health, then, we'd have primary healthcare at each of our villages, and then not just penicillin and injection for fever, but we're talking about even mothers, a labor wing for each of these facilities, and have serviceable, good health workers sitting there and administering medicine, health services at the village levels, and it's our small communities. Only God bless the work of I believe it was such tax credit and Kupiano and partnership with Sepuka and Apollo DDA. They delivered a really good world-class level 4 hospital, I believe. Or I think it was a level 5 hospital there. So they're doing really great, at least bringing that much closer. But you need that last mile, You need that last mile access, wartime, because it's waterlogged. Most of our province is waterlogged, and the roads are, not the best. But again, equitable distribution of wealth is the key. This country is our country. When I say our country, it belongs to Papuans and it belongs to New Guineans. And that is Highlanders, Momase, New Guinea Island. We all should participate equally in this business of growing this nation. And the way it's been going, there's just no fairness. There's just no common sense prevailing here.
No.
So me to me got big club, Bell Heavy Legislative side. And even, my people in Sirunumu have been providing water and power to this city that is driving the heart of the nation. It's the main heart of this nation. But there's no real benefits package for our people also, you see. The National Energy Act provides now finally a platform for a development forum for water and power resource owners, landowners. You may look past them. We've just recently appointed a great minister, so good minister. So hopefully this new minister will look into it for us. We're looking forward to more collaboration and more understanding and a sense of empathy. You said it. So
and I agree with you. Thank you for enlightening us about that. I do believe too it's a great idea, right? Connect PNG is a great idea, but an idea without a plan, is it really going to bring the change we need? And
also
I don't
just
know.
the way it's being managed, it's just wrong. It's just immoral. It's just completely immoral. Need I say more? There's been a plethora of information in the public domain shared on the floor of Parliament, and then that was enough because they've continued on the same trajectory. And now, if not bad, it's gone to worse. They're just spending recklessly into one single program. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.